7 women scientists whose discoveries were credited to men. Rosalind Franklin, the double helix. James Watson and Francis Crick are famous for discovering the shape of DNA, called the double helix, which helped scientists understand human genetics. However, British scientist Rosalind Franklin played a key role in this discovery. In 1951, while working at King's College London, she took an important X-ray image of DNA, known as Photo 51. This image was crucial in identifying DNA's structure. Unfortunately, one of her colleagues showed this image to Watson and Crick without her permission. It took Franklin another year to fully understand and describe the double helix. In 1953, Watson and Crick published their findings. Franklin's research was also published but was placed in later pages, making it seem like her work only supported theirs. Franklin passed away from cancer in 1958, and 4 years later, Watson and Crick won the Nobel Prize for their discovery. Besides DNA research, Franklin also studied coal, which helped improve gas masks during World War II. Later, her work on viruses helped another scientist, Aaron Klug, win a Nobel Prize. Eunice Foote, the greenhouse effect. John Tyndall is often credited with discovering the greenhouse effect, the way Earth's atmosphere traps heat, leading to global warming. However, American scientist Eunice Foote was actually the first to demonstrate this effect. In the 1850s, she conducted experiments by filling glass tubes with different gases and placing them in the sun. She found that carbon dioxide trapped the most heat. She published her findings in 1857, 3 years before Tyndall. However, she was not allowed to present her research at a science conference and had to ask a male colleague to do it for her. Despite her early work, Tyndall is still the name most people remember for discovering the greenhouse effect. Hedy Lamarr, wireless communication. Hedy Lamarr was a famous Hollywood actress, but she was also an inventor. During World War II, she worked with George Antheil to create frequency hopping, a way to stop enemies from listening in on military radio signals. They designed a system to guide Allied torpedoes without interference. The US Navy ignored her patent at first but later used her ideas to develop new technologies. Her work became the foundation for Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and CDMA, used in mobile networks. Years later, researchers rediscovered her invention, and she received the Electronic Frontier Foundation Award. She passed away in 2000. Lady Ada Lovelace, computer programming. Ada Lovelace is known as the first computer programmer because of her important work in the 1800s. In 1843, she worked with Charles Babbage, who invented the analytical engine, an early version of a computer. While Babbage was building the machine, it was Lovelace who understood its full potential. She wrote notes explaining how it could process numbers, solve math problems, and even create music. Most importantly, she created the first computer program, which helped shape modern computing. However, Babbage took all the credit, and Lovelace's work was ignored for years. Many people mistakenly praised Babbage, overlooking her efforts. It was only much later that people recognized Ada Lovelace as the true pioneer of computer science. Alice Spall, leprosy cure. Leprosy, also called Hansen's disease, is a serious bacterial infection that has existed for thousands of years. In the past, people with leprosy were often isolated and left to pass away. In Hawaii, 23-year-old chemist Alice Spall was working to find a better treatment. She focused on cholmugra oil, a traditional medicine from China and India, which could help but couldn't be injected because it didn't mix with blood. In 1916, Spall discovered a way to turn the oil into a form that could be injected, making treatment more effective. She was the first woman and first dark-skinned professor of chemistry at the University of Hawaii. Sadly, she passed away shortly after due to a lab accident. Arthur Dean, the head of her department, took credit for her work and called it the Dean's method. Later, a colleague spoke up, and the treatment was rightfully renamed the Ball method in her honor.